If you're over 40 and you feel like your body is aging faster than your mind, you're not imagining it. One day you're in your 20s or 30s, eating whatever you want, living life, feeling invincible. And then suddenly you're 45 or 50 thinking, when did my energy disappear? Why am I gaining weight even though nothing has changed? I see this every single day in my patients. High achievers, parents, professionals, people who know what to do, but suddenly their body isn't cooperating anymore. And listen, there's nothing wrong with you. This is biology. This is aging. This is your metabolism shifting under your feet before you even realize it's happening. But here's the truth. It's absolutely fixable. You just need a roadmap, a clear step-by-step plan to reverse the slowdown and rebuild metabolic power no matter what your age is. And today, I'm giving you exactly that. This is the ultimate metabolic roadmap for people over 40. The same framework I use for my patients and the same strategies that helped me lose over 150 pounds and completely rebuild my health from the bottom up. So grab a notebook, because this is going to change the way you think about your metabolism forever. First, let's start with what actually happens when we age. 1, lean muscle drops every year after 30. Less muscle equals slower metabolic rate and fewer calories burned at rest. 2, hormonal signals weaken. Insulin becomes less efficient, cortisol levels rise, thyroid output shifts, and hunger and satiety hormones become unregulated. 3, mitochondria age. The tiny energy factories inside your cells literally lose horsepower and start to degrade. 4, chronic inflammation increases. This is the hidden driver behind weight gain and my primary focus with all of my patients. I think oftentimes, chronic inflammation is overlooked or played down by most medical providers, but the fatigue, the joint pain, and the metabolic decline wreak havoc on your body. Listen, you're not broken. Your biology just needs a new operating system, and we are about to build it. So where do we start? First, let's reprogram your nutrition. Prioritize protein. Aim for 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of your goal weight per day. This protects lean muscle and stabilizes hunger. Next, carbohydrates. Here are the carbs that support stable glucose, strong gut health, and sustained energy. Something like brown rice, sweet potatoes, chickpeas, or lentils. Remember, carbs aren't the enemy, but the wrong carbohydrates at the wrong time can sabotage your metabolic health. Next is fasting. Fasting is one of the simplest ways to repair your metabolism at a cellular level, especially after 40 when energy signaling becomes less efficient. Here's what actually happens inside your cells when you fast. When you fast, cellular energy temporarily drops. This flips on an enzyme called AMPK. This increases fat oxidation, improves insulin sensitivity, enhances mitochondrial efficiency, and lowers inflammation. As we age, AMPK naturally becomes less active. Fasting reactivates it. It flips that switch on. Once AMPK turns on, it triggers autophagy, a process where the body breaks down damaged proteins, recycles old cellular components, and most importantly, reduces oxidative stress. Think of it as your body cleaning out the metabolic clutter. This is one of the most powerful anti-aging effects of fasting. For most beginners, I recommend a 12-hour fast and then slowly narrow your eating window and widen your fasting window. I currently do a 16 to 8 fast, so I fast for 16 hours and I eat for 8 hours. I can make a whole separate video on this if you guys are interested. Step 2, train your muscles like your life depends on it, because technically it does. Think of muscle as your metabolic engine. If you're over 40, resistance training is no longer optional, it's essential. Aim for 2 to 3 sessions per week. Keep it simple early on, and don't worry about the best exercises for each body part. Just focus on proper form and consistency. Start with compound movements such as squats, deadlifts, dips, and some core stability. Focus on slow, controlled, high-quality reps. This preserves strength, bone density, insulin sensitivity, and keeps your metabolic engine roaring. Step 3, fix sleep and stress. This isn't easy, especially depending on your personal situation. I'm really bad with this because I'm constantly working night shifts, so my circadian clock is totally messed up. But poor sleep raises ghrelin, lowers leptin, spikes cortisol, and increases cravings by up to 45% the next day. Work on sleep hygiene. Limit screens to 1 hour before bed, aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and keep the room cool and dark. Your body recovers while you sleep, so don't fight biology. Step 4, add in strategic tools. This is where modern metabolic medicine has changed everything, especially for people over 40 dealing with stubborn weight or metabolic dysfunction. GLP-1s such as semaglutide or tirzepatide, I always recommend to be the foundation for metabolic optimization. Most people can do well on a microdose, but if you need to lose weight or keep your blood sugar better regulated, then you should be on a therapeutic dose. GLP-1s help to restore satiety signaling. They reduce insulin resistance and they decrease inflammation. Other peptides I often recommend, depending on the patient, is MOTS-c for mitochondrial function, BPC-157 for gut health and inflammation, AOD to help with fat metabolism, and more importantly, tissue repair, the copper peptide GHK-Cu for tissue repair and anti-aging benefits, and the growth hormone receptor analogs like CJC or ipamorelin. Those help with growth hormone axis support. These aren't magic. They're tools that work with your biology when used responsibly and clinically, but only if the previous steps are correct first. You need a good foundation for the peptides to build on. Here's how I structure my patient's first 90 days. Weeks 1 through 4, baseline lab, nutrition reset, protein optimization, light resistance training about 2 times a week, and then you begin structured walking. I always tell my patients to start slow and go at their own pace, because if you try to do too much at once or you go from 0 to 100, you are going to quit. So start slow and be consistent. Weeks 5 through 8, we dial in sleep, increase the light resistance to about 3 to 4 times per week, and then we begin structured jogging or walking more than you did last week. We're basically just using this block to increase what we did on the previous block. Weeks 9 through 12. This is where we reflect on the past 2 months and make adjustments. Fine tune your diet. Do you need to lower your calories even more, or are you losing weight too fast? Introduce metabolic tools if needed. Peptides such as MOTS-C or GLP-1s. Track your non-scale victories. How's your energy, your mood, and your cravings? Because it's about more than just a number on the scale. So remember, you're not too old. Your metabolism is not ruined. You haven't missed your chance. You just need the right map, and this is the moment to take back control. Because the next decade of your life can completely look different from the last one. Your best years aren't behind you, they're ahead of you. I promise. So I'll see you next time.